Welcome back to No Gree Entertainment. I'm here joined my co-host Ant,
What's good, guys?
and I'm here with a special guest today, Jaden. Want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing me on here. My name is Jaden. I'm from Texas. Shout out Show Team 6. They're my day ones.
Big one's okay.
Mm.
Team 6.
Shout out Team Six.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about today, guys. I mean, we have a lot of serious topics we need to delve into. One being especially it's the New Year's. A lot of the IJGBs are coming back for from Dirty December or Dirty December. I should say it like that.
Mm.
So around the 6th or 7th, I was looking on social media. I was looking on social media. I was looking on social media and I saw a lot of them enjoying their time in Nigeria. But I had a point of contention with that because LeBron's birthday was on the 30th of December. So I mean, it kind of offended me the fact that a lot of Nigerians were outside of the country, celebrating in Nigeria when LeBron's birthday was on the 30th, and there's a possibility of him inviting you to his birthday party. So, kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on that. I mean, do you think that's acceptable? I really, I don't. That's my personal opinion, but kind of want you to get y'all's thoughts.
To me, it's not acceptable at all. LeBron's an icon. So his day is his day. I see a lot of people trying to brush that under the table, acting like it's another day. It's not another day. This is a very important day. Should really, honestly, be a national holiday. But that being said, I feel like being in Nigeria, the month that LeBron's celebrating his day, is just disgusting to me. I feel like if it's that deep and you really have to go participate in what'd you say it was 30 December
This is
or
December,
something
yeah,
like that.
nonsense.
Um, I feel like just come home the day of Christmas, because LeBron Day's the 30th, Christmas, 25th. So gives you like about 5 days to, plan, organize, figure out what you're gonna put on the menu,
Let the let the
etc.
let the meat marinate
Yeah, let the meat marinate, all that. You know what I'm saying? And if you for some reason don't even have a Bron jersey, it gives you time to, you know what I mean,
yeah, yeah,
get you a jersey. So that's how I
100%.
see it as.
You say it gives you time to get a LeBron jersey. That's what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I think it's obviously reprehensible behavior. I mean, I think, man, I mean, even though that it's a low chance, like you said, you know, what's the chance of you being born?
yeah. The odds. My mom used to tell me all the time.
Yeah,
The odds are never zero in anything in life. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I really like that. I like that quote. We'll keep that.
yeah,
Odds are never
yeah.
zero.
Shout out to my mom, man.
Shout out to Momsy,
Yeah.
man.
How do you feel about this, Jaden?
Yeah,
Um, being born in the same timeline as LeBron is already a blessing. I mean, he's been in the league for as long as I've been on Earth already. Like it's been like 19, 20 years maybe. To me, his birthday is already his birthday is a holiday to me already. I'm not Nigerian, so I'm not really sure like how leaving the country works and stuff. But I feel like you should already stay in the country and just like celebrate the holidays here instead of going elsewhere and be farther from LeBron when you could be closer to LeBron.
hmm
Even though there's a slight chance, like how y'all were saying, yeah, you never know. Like the chances are never zero. You can maybe get invited to his like celebration or birthday one day. So
yeah,
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 for sure, bro.
that's pretty much it though.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, I really like how you put into account the years that he spent in the league. I mean, it's really a blessing to be even in the same timeline as him. I mean, we're never gonna see another LeBron.
At all?
We're never gonna see another LeBron. So just it's a huge blessing already to be but you're kind of disregarding that by traveling outside the country. It's almost like you're telling God like it's kind of a disrespect to God.
It's like a spit in the face,
Exactly, it's a spit in
honestly.
in the face to God. He put you intentionally in the same timeline as LeBron, but you just completely disregard that. So I mean, yeah, it's obviously very disgusting behavior. But yeah, I'm glad y'all agree. We're on the same page about that. So I mean, yeah,
So like, I just want to get y'all's input on this. So the other day, well, honestly, let me just ask the question. So is it appropriate for like an African man to Americanize his name to appeal to like other Americans?
I've had
And oh,
sorry, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that on the internet. I'll see Chukwu Emeka to be Mex, Nne Emeka to be Mecca. I mean, it's really Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're shortening, you're reducing all of that heritage to for four-letter nonsense, Like, I don't agree.
Yeah. The reason I asked that was because I was out with my boy. His name's Chidi
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
but we call him Chidi for short. So we went to Starbucks before work, running a little bit late, trying to get in and out. So we enter, I order my drink, do what I gotta do, and it's Chidi's turn to order his drink. Tell me why he talks to the bartista or
His
what's the word?
barista, something. Yeah, it's like some weird Italian word.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not a female, so I don't really drink Starbucks. But that's besides the point. So he's ordering, and you know how they ask like what the name is so they can call out for when the drink's ready?
So he's ordering it, and they're they ask his name.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So, I say my name, which is my name, my birth name,
yeah,
Anthony. So it's his turn. He says his name was Chad.
yeah,
Like Chad of all names. Like
yeah.
where'd you get that from? Like his middle name is like super long. I don't even want to get into it. It's like ancient hieroglyphics, and his first name is Chidi man. So
Yeah,
I don't know where he got Chad from.
yeah, yeah,
But it kind of caught me off guard. I
yeah,
had to take a step back or two, and I was like, "Do I even know this guy? Like,
yeah,
who
yeah.
who is this?"
I'm really
Like
appalled. Yeah.
it's basically essentially selling yourself out for a caramel macchiato.
A what?
That's what he got, a
A
caramel
caramel
macchiato.
macchiato.
Yeah,
So you sold years of heritage. Your mother bore you for carried you for 9 months, named you Chidinma, such a beautiful name. God is good. For you to answer Chad,
yeah, like Chad of all names.
Chad of all names.
Yeah,
Does that make sense, bro? Like
nah. And get this, he asked for sprinkles and whipped cream.
sprinkles of whipped cream.
Yeah, sprinkles and whipped cream.
I mean, obviously, this is just. I'm just getting absurd at this point. Like firstly, you reduce your heritage, your lineage to Chad, and on top of that, men should only be drinking black coffee.
Black coffee.
Straight from
Yeah,
coffee beans. There was this guy on TikTok. Shout out if he's watching this. Shout out to you, or Oracle Arusi. Yeah, he's always talking about men should not be eating bread, spags, all those rubbish food. He gave us the blueprint. He said you should only be drinking black coffee as a
yeah,
man. So I find it utterly disrespectful to masculinity as
yeah.
as a whole
Yeah,
to
Imma
be
be real, I
yeah
got a matcha, but,
a matcha.
it matches
All
my
right, that's
whole.
that's acceptable.
Yeah, it's like my personality at
Your
this point,
personality.
so
Yeah,
I had to get that,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just feel like that's way better than getting a macchiato or whatever he
Matcha.
got.
How you say it?
Macchiato?
Macchiato.
Yeah, macchiato.
I don't speak female, so I don't know those words.
Mm, yeah. But
But
how do you
what are your thoughts, Jaden?
yeah, how do you feel?
I just want to start off. I think getting anything but hot black coffee from anywhere is just disgraceful to to your manlyhood. I feel like what you said it was a caramel macchiato or
Yeah,
something like that.
caramel macchiato.
Yeah, anything like that, anything like caramel macchiato or like a frappuccino, that's just disgusting. Like you should only be getting hot black coffee as a man.
Yeah,
To make it even worse, he got sprinkles and extra sugar, stuff like that.
yeah, whipped cream.
Just makes it even worse. Not only that, but he also changed his name from what was it?
Chidima.
Yeah, to Chad. It's like
To
the-
appeal get this, her name tag said Becky.
Thank
Like,
you.
yeah, she was a white girl. No, nothing not that there's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah, yeah,
like you're kind of selling yourself out just to appeal to her. Like I
yeah,
feel like she'd like it better if you were yourself. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I just think changing your name to something that's like nothing, changing your name to Chad that's like nothing related to your name at all. Just you're kind of making yourself a disgrace to your parents because you just changed your name to something they didn't create you with. So you know,
yeah, good point.
I fully agree with that. Especially because as a man, it kind of signals that beta, like you're a beta, like you're not an alpha. As an alpha man, regardless of how anybody feels or how anybody tries to pronounce your name, you're supposed to say your name, your full name.
Mm,
Chidinma. If that's your name, Chidinma. Say Chidinma. If it is Nemeka, say Nemeka. Don't shorten your name to Mecca Okafor on Instagram. I mean that's just ridiculous.
yeah,
It's inappropriate. It's disgusting. I mean, anyone who's shortening their name, try to appeal, to the American masses. I mean, they should, it's reprehensible behavior.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, since we're like on a topic of food and drink order, didn't you weren't you telling me about how you had like an uncle you pressed for eating like fufu and a goosey with a fork?
And I'm kind of disappointed that you remember that story because as a man, why are you remembering another man's vivid imaginations that he had, or not imaginations, vivid scenery that he had when he was younger. That's inappropriate on your part, but it's a strike. So I was walking in on my uncle. It was at a family function. We obviously had traditional African food, fufu and egusi. That's my rich uncle. He had Apple Watch. iPhone X at this time. I think it was about, I don't know how old I was, but he had Apple Watch, iPhone X. So I walk in and I see him. His name is Uncle Chuga.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, shit, okay. So, you know, he's technically his name is technically Uncle Chukwemeka. So I walk in the door, I open it, and I see Chukwemeka, watching Nollywood on his phone, and eating amala with a fork. So I burst in the door. I said, Chukwemeka, what are you doing? And he doesn't, he does Okay. So he's eating amala with a fork. So I burst in the door. I said, Chukwemeka, what are you doing? He doesn't, he fully ignores me that time. So I say, Chukwemeka, do you not hear me talking to you, boy? And and he's like, he looks at me, you know, it was like this. It looked like red was coming from his eyes, and he calls me Onyara. I think it's like some word that means like strong child, or,
Yeah,
or
like
lovely child.
conqueror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conquering child.
Hmm.
So he calls me Onya Zuzu, or Onyara, something like that. And so, I reproach him. I say, as a grown man, you're not supposed to be, eating with a fork. He says, I'm eating with this fork because I don't want to get my Apple Watch, my screen oily, or my phone screen oily. I had to reproach him. I had to educate him a little bit, and he kind of learned. But for some reason, I remember that night I got a spanking when I got home. I saw him talking to my mom or something, but I don't remember what that was about. But so I kind of that's really my opinion on the whole matter. I don't think you should be eating amala, or traditional foods with a fork. It's disgusting. So what are your thoughts?
Um, I feel like I'm kind of on his side. The
Yeah.
only disgusting thing about all this is touching that food and putting it in your mouth and then going back for more. That's the disgust. That's the disgusting thing to me. You know, one thing that comes with being a man is taking care of yourself and your prized possessions. Like if I'm eating fufu and a goosey, and I'm watching stuff on my phone, I'm going to protect my phone. I'm going to protect my watch, my Apple Watch, my expensive, $500 watch. I'm going to protect my quarters, and all my other prized possessions. You know what I mean? My nails that I
Yep.
just got done. I'm going to protect those too. So I'm on his side. You know what I mean? So that's all I see it as.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. I mean, I can't really relate to like, I guess Nigerian culture, but I've indulged in like certain other cultures as well. For example, like using different utensils like chopsticks, something like that. I could kind of see um, like wanting to be tidy and like use utensils properly to keep yourself clean and everything. But I feel like as a high value man, if you like mess up your Apple Watch or mess up your phone, you should be able to buy yourself a new phone or a new Apple Watch or just like new appliances whenever you feel like it. It's like a minor inconvenience of like getting food on your Apple Watch. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You could just go out and buy new clothes or a new Apple Watch whenever you want. But yeah, that's what I gotta say.
I fully, I'm glad we're on the same page. Kind of. I don't know why you think that way, because as a man, like Jaden said, anytime there's a minor inconvenience, you get a goosey on your Apple Watch. So what? Go buy a new one. You know, as an odogu, you shouldn't be worrying about money. Like if I were to see you, I would call you a madman. Like I would call you a poor man. if I saw you eating, fufu with a fork, it signifies to other men, if I have, it's not Apple Watch, but if I have, food on my or food stains on my shirt, on my, my quarter zip on my phone, like this guy's been eating good, he has money, he gets money, So I really don't understand your sentiment. I think it's an inappropriate one. It's a reprehensible one, but if that's you, do what you got to do. But it's not, the right thing to do.
You know, I'm not gonna say I don't agree with you. I'm just one thing I was taught from my father was to always stand on business. If someone thinks I don't get money, just hit one of these. Robin Hood, straight green portfolio. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're eating amala and a goosey with a fork. Oh my God, you're a disgrace. No words. You know what I mean? Just green. So honestly, that's how I feel about it. I'm not gonna change my mind.
Kind of, I think you kind of redeemed yourself with that one. So you're showing your portfolio. I think it's, it's a redeemable factor. So I kind of respect your opinion now. But I still think if you getting stains on your problem or on your clothes, on your accessories, it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. So yeah, and my uncle, I think he learned his lesson. But regarding uncles, I think you had a story. One of you had a story, but I don't remember. But
Yeah, it
was
was
that?
a hypothetical for Jaden because
Mm,
he's obviously not African, so I wanted to see his input on this.
yeah.
Um, so let's say me and you, I'm throwing a party, right? My family's throwing a party, and I invite you, and we're chopping it up, and my uncle comes in and introduces himself to me. I mean to you, and it's not really technically my uncle. He's just one of my pop's old friends from the '80s. You know what I mean? I just wanted to see, do you refer to him as uncle or do you refer to him by his first name and
Um,
risk getting kicked out the house?
risk getting kicked out. Personally, if I don't know him, I'm gonna just address him by his first name. Like, who do I look like calling him uncle or Theo in my case? Like, why would I address him by uncle and put myself at like a submissive position than when I can just like put myself evenly on the playing field with him? Like, there's no reason for me to call somebody I don't know uncle when in reality we start off at the same level. Um, I think calling him by his first name actually kind of shows dominance. Even though I'm younger than him, calling him by his first name would like assert dominance and put me at the same level as him in a way.
Mm,
Um,
that
yeah.
definitely changed my whole perspective on this. I feel like you said, who are you at the end of the day? Like I said, it was just my pop's old friends from the '70s. I didn't grow up with you. I don't know you. You're not my blood. So why should I call you uncle? Why should I call this random lady who cooked for my mom's party my auntie when you're not related to my dad or my mom? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like moving forward, the best thing I'm gonna do. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna start referring to all these uncles and aunties by their first name. Cause what's the worst that could happen?
What's
You
the
know what I'm
worst?
saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, you kick me out of party. Okay, like I said earlier, portfolio's still green, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I agree. I fully agree. And I think Jaden, he dropped some profound wisdom. Like, why put yourself at a submissive state?
Yeah,
And going off of what you said, calling your uncles and aunties like, auntie, uncle, like, why would I be doing that? Like, going forward, I think the best course of action, even my blood uncles and aunties, I've never referred to them as uncle, Uncle Mike or Uncle Chad or Uncle Charles. I've always called them, Uncle Chugemeka, Uncle Chaz. you know, Never in my life have I ever referred to my uncle or auntie as uncle or auntie because, under God, we're all the same.
yeah,
Like, why would I be, boosting, giving you an ego boost and His Royal Highness, Her Royal Highness? I think that in itself is, disgusting behavior. I
yeah,
think, as a grown man, even, when I was, that incident that happened when I was like 6 or 7 years old. So I think even after that point, I've never ever, referred to them as that because it's like, why am I giving you an ego boost,
yeah.
and approaching you in a certain. I think it's just, fetishizing the whole experience,
Yeah,
at a certain point.
yeah. Like you think you're above me or something?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
like pipe down.
You're just fetishizing the whole name, the naming system, the greeting. It's disturbing.
Yeah, I just want to add something else too. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for me to call him uncle and like put myself at like a low position. Like it would make me like it would force me to have to like look up upon them instead of like being on the same level. Like kind of like what Ann was saying. Once you show them the portfolio, everything's green.
Yeah,
I
we're all the
mean,
same.
yeah,
Yeah, green.
yeah, exactly.
Irish green, you know. So
Shout out flight.
shout out flight, man. So I think when it comes to respect, it's a big thing in our culture. I'm sure it is a big thing in Hispanic culture as well. But I kind of want to get y'all's opinion on this. Obviously your parents are human. Your uncles and aunties, they're human as well. There's some things they might overlook. They like to say, something. I see on if you climb a 500-foot tree, you won't see what I see sitting down. All those quotes, and they're at the end of the day they're human as well. So I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts. If your elder is advising you wrongly or giving you misinformation, do you correct them or is respect more important?
Um, I feel like it's 50-50. Um, when someone's wrong, it's not okay when your friend's wrong versus when your parents wrong. You have to go about things different ways. Like with your parents, you got to show respect. They birthed you, they raised you, they were there for you, every circumstance of your life. So you never want to get too, big headed and feel like you could just boss them around because you can't. Truthfully, parents do know what's best for you at the end of the day. But I feel like if it's a situation where they're flat out just wrong and, my life's on the line, their life's on the line, I'm gonna do everything I have to do. If it comes off disrespectful, then it wasn't my intention, but you know, I want both of us to be in a good situation. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of like piggyback off what y'all are saying. Sometimes, your parents or like even grandparents or your elders in general, they're not always gonna be right. Sometimes you have to take your own path, and um, like as long as you have the determination and discipline, you can really go down that path and like succeed in whatever you're doing. Um, I mean, yeah, it's good to take advice from your parents because I mean sometimes they are right, but I mean in some instances, sometimes you have to do your own thing and try to like succeed in that. So,
Ultimately, the world is evolving. When we have children, we're not going to be, no, we're not going to know about the world's climate, technologically, culturally, the way they dress. We're not going to know, about all those things, down in the future. So obviously, our parents are the same way. We kind of know what's going on, and in this day and age, but they might be thinking, back in the '90s, back in the 2000s, how life was for them, and try to, push, their ideas onto you, without, taking into account, that the world is evolving, the world is changing, things are changing. It's not the same old, you know, things that that were, happening back in the day. So ultimately, you just have to assess, you have to ground yourself in reality, assess your situation, make the right decision, and go on from there, live your life ultimately.
yeah, I kind of want to add something real quick. Yeah, how Andrew was saying or Drew was saying, the world is evolving like constantly. Like parents like nowadays think you have to go to college to get like have a successful career, successful life. But there's a lot of other things you can do outside of college. You can like you could trade stocks, for example, or there's like so many endless like things you can do than just like going to college. I mean, obviously college is like a good start if you don't know where you want to start, but there's a lot of other options too if college doesn't work out.
100%.
Yeah, good point.
Good point, guys. We've made a lot of good points today. We've made a lot of. Oh, okay. Okay. I think you wanted to answer a question.
Yeah, I just want to ask something real quick before we wrap up. I usually ask a lot of people this because I just want to get their point of views on this question. So, would you rather question I got from this YouTuber I watch pretty often, but basically, what the question is: would you rather date a girl that has four bodies, but those four bodies are all your homeboys, or the other option is would you rather date a girl that has 60 bodies, but like you don't know any of those people? I just want to get
Wow.
y'all's thoughts on that.
Wow,
What a loaded question, bro.
that's heavy for sure. Um, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that question's really just like a pick your poison. Like it's a suicide type of question, you
Yeah.
know, death or death type question. No, it's really no right answer. But I feel like going with someone that I would pick the person that, you know, that was with my homeboys. Honestly, I if it was like, you know, not a situation where I could finesse my way out, I would do that. But if I had to pick, I'd do that because, you know, it's just a number to me. At the end of the day, like 60-4, even though the circumstances are different, it's just a respect thing at the end of the day. Like 60, like that's like a football team right there. Like
Yeah.
it's like 4 basketball teams. So I feel like that's kind of insane. So
Yeah. Oh, I don't really know. I don't think I can answer this question, but I just say pray about it. You know, that's what I think that's what God want me to do because that's a really death or death situation. I can't choose and be successful.
yeah,
It's the best. I mean, the best situation would just to be eat a bullet, but obviously I'm not gonna do that. You know, but
yeah. All you can do is just pray, honestly.
yeah, pray about it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Flip a coin or something.
flip a
I don't
coin.
know.
There's no win.
Yeah.
There's no win. So yeah,
I think y'all it was like earlier, it says like kind of picking your poison. Like obviously both choices are bad, but if you gotta choose one, or if I had to choose one, I'd probably do the 4 bodies just because I guess it's less bodies, even though it's like I mean 4 is less than 60. Even though it's still pretty bad, I just feel like the 4. I'd probably have to go with the 4. Or suicide, you know. If suicide was an option, I'd probably just kill myself. So, oh yeah. But yeah, if a suicide was an option, I'd probably just go with the 4 bodies just because I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to date somebody that's like what's it, like a community ball? Like
Like community ball.
everybody has like had their turn on it. Like you'd rather just date the girl that just has 4 bodies. So
yeah. I think yeah. I kind of agree with both of you, what y'all said, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but that's probably the best option. And yeah, I think we made some good points today. Um, to wrap things up, live your life. Live your life. And don't settle. Don't listen to anything. Obviously, take good counsel, but don't let other people live your life for you. It's word of the day.
wait, do you have anything to say before we wrap up or no?
You know, you know, just just stay P, you know what I mean? And make sure your portfolios are green still. Okay.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
100% agree with that. Just don't settle for less. Always try to have a standard for yourself. Don't let anybody try to bring you down. Just yeah, just like live life to your fullest, man. That's all I gotta say.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See y'all.